A broken soldier sought exile in the void, until 5 alien widows claimed him as their final hope. Beginning the exile. The war had ended, but silence felt louder than gunfire. Sergeant Darius Cole had once been a decorated soldier of Earth's expeditionary forces, a man whose name carried weight among allies and enemies alike. But victory had come at a cost. Entire colonies burned, starships drifted like husks, and his unit, the Iron Talons, was reduced to ash and memory. When the Council offered him honors and a quiet retirement on Earth, he refused. He didn't want medals, didn't want applause. He wanted distance. So, with a requisitioned shuttle and meager supplies, he drifted into the void, away from the crowded lanes of trade, away from politics, away from humanity itself. He found silence on the edge of nowhere, among asteroids and forgotten moons. There he built a small shelter out of scavenged ship hulls, living with nothing but the hum of recycled air and the ghosts of those he'd failed to save. For months, he spoke to no one. For months, he wanted it that way. But silence never lasted forever. Middle, the widows. The first sign of change came as a distress beacon, a faint pulse against the background static. Darius almost ignored it. Almost. But soldiers were trained to respond. Even broken ones. He found them on the wreck of a refugee cruiser. 5 survivors, all women, all alien. Their ship had been ambushed by raiders, their kin slaughtered. Widows, every one of them. They regarded him with suspicion at first. His human uniform, though tattered, carried the emblem of Earth's military, a symbol some still distrusted. But hunger and grief outweighed fear, and they accepted his hand when he offered water and shelter. Their names etched themselves into his mind. Liara, tall and sharp-eyed, once a pilot. Saran, soft-spoken healer, her hands trembling when they weren't mending wounds. Caliph, the youngest, her grief hidden behind anger. Mara, stoic and quiet, her gaze unreadable. Oronel, eldest among them, her voice carrying the weight of lost children. Widows of war. Survivors without a home. Darius wanted to keep his distance. He wasn't their savior. He was barely holding himself together. But every night, as they huddled near the warmth of his salvaged generator, he felt the walls of his solitude crack. Their voices, their pain, their determination not to crumble, it all reminded him of something he thought he had buried. Duty. The conflict, raiders, and memories. Weeks passed. The women helped repair his outpost, turning his lonely shelter into something resembling a community. They cooked alien meals from strange roots scavenged from barren moons, taught him fragments of their songs. In turn, Darius taught them survival drills, how to fire a plasma rifle, how to listen for danger in the silence of space. Slowly, they became something more than strangers. Not family, not lovers, but allies bound by need. Then the raiders returned. It began with shadows on his scanners. Ships painted in blood red, hunting across the fringe. Darius recognized their tactics, the same bandits who had slaughtered the widow's kin. When the alarms rang, Liara stood beside him. "We cannot run," she said, jaw set. "They will chase us to the ends of the stars." Saran added, "Then we must stand." Darius stared at them, at 5 women who had lost everything yet still found courage where he had only found despair. For the first time in months, he felt the fire stir in his chest again. "All right," he said grimly. "Then we fight." The preparation. Forging hope. The outpost became a fortress. Darius repurposed mining drones into automated turrets. Caliph rigged traps across the asteroid fields. Mara scoured wrecks for usable weapons, while Oronel mapped every approach vector. Training sessions turned brutal, But the widows endured. Plasma rifles burned their shoulders raw, recoil bruised their arms, but they didn't quit. Darius saw in their eyes the same steel he once knew in his unit. One night, as they sat around the dim glow of the generator, Liara spoke quietly. "You call yourself broken human, yet you stand with us. You fight with us. Perhaps you are not broken, merely waiting." Darius didn't answer, but for the first time in years he allowed himself to believe she might be right. The battle lost hope. The raiders came at dawn shift. 5 ships, bristling with cannons. Their leader broadcast a cruel laugh. "Little widows hiding behind a human dog? Surrender, and we'll make your end quick." Darius's reply was steady, cold. "Come and try." The battle was chaos. Turrets blazing, asteroids splitting under cannon fire. Kalitha's traps crippled the first ship, sending it spinning into debris. Liara, piloting a captured raider skiff, danced through enemy fire like a star reborn. Darius fought on the ground, plasma rifle scorching through boarding parties. His movements were sharp, precise, muscle memory of a soldier who had once commanded entire fronts. But this time, he wasn't fighting for medals or orders. He was fighting for them. Hours bled like years. By the time the last raider ship limped away, the asteroid field was littered with wreckage. The widows stood bloodied but alive. Darius's armor was cracked, his body bruised, but he hadn't felt so alive since the war. Ending the choice. When the smoke cleared, the widows gathered around him. Oronel, her eyes glistening, spoke what the others could not. "You saved us. Not as soldiers, not as refugees, but as people. You could have stayed hidden in silence. Instead, you stood with us. For that, we claim you as our hope." The words struck deeper than any blade. Darius, who had sought exile to escape the weight of his failures, now found himself chosen, needed, not by generals or governments, but by 5 women who refused to surrender to despair. He looked at them, at Liara's fierce eyes, Saran's quiet strength, Kalitha's unyielding fire, Mara's calm presence, Oronel's guiding wisdom, and felt something shift within him. For the first time since the war, he wasn't alone. "I came here to disappear," he admitted softly. "But maybe I was meant to be found." Liara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Then don't leave us, Darius Cole. Stay. Fight with us. Live with us." And for once, the broken soldier didn't argue. In the silence of the void, 5 widows and 1 exile built something new. Not just survival, not just resistance, but a bond forged in blood and hope. And across the stars, whispers began to spread. Of a human soldier reborn, of alien widows who defied despair, and of a last hope rising in the dark.